Hey!
John, happy Black History Month.
Happy Black History Month. Yes,
Got a lot to
indeed.
celebrate this month.
That's right, that's right.
Also, happy Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
In the Chinese calendar, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
Happy New Year time.
You know what year this is?
It's the year of the tiger.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's good for Cincinnati.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Look at that. Wow.
Could be.
Cincinnati.
You never know.
Yeah, I like
2 points make a line.
That's right.
Now, folks, for weeks now, there's been major tensions over in Eastern Europe. Here's what's going on. Vladimir Putin has got Russian troops massing on the borders of Ukraine and has used this self-generated crisis to demand that NATO pledge to halt further eastward expansion and agree not to admit Ukraine as a member. That's not fair. Ukraine already made it through NATO Rush Week. So they carried that greased album clenched in their butt cheeks up a flight of stairs for nothing? Joke's based on a true story. The U.S. and Russia are still negotiating here. Today, there was a phone call between U.S. Secretary of State and man who always makes you watch him eat during Zoom meetings, Antony Blinken, and Russian foreign minister and man who postponed lunch for this Zoom meeting, Sergei Lavrov. In advance of this phone call, one U.S. official claimed the Russian government has delivered a written response to a U.S. proposal aimed at de-escalating the Ukraine crisis. I believe we actually have a copy of that written response. Dear sir or madam, kaboom, kisses, Vlad. Short and sweet. The Kremlin claims they have not sent an official reply. But we got a preview today of their response when Putin told reporters, it is already clear that the fundamental Russian concerns were ignored. We did not see an adequate consideration of our 3 key requirements. Yes, you must address his 3 key requirements. Give me Ukraine. The things are tense. Yesterday, in the UN Security Council, the U.S. and Russian ambassadors got into a diplomatic brawl. Oh, damn! There is nothing more thrilling than a diplomatic brawl. Ladies and gentlemen, live from the UN building in New York City, let's get ready to draft a non-binding resolution. The Russian ambassador to the UN claimed that the U.S. is exaggerating the threat. But look how many troops Russia has all around Ukraine. That's a lot of red. If this were an ad for T-Mobile, I'd consider switching carriers. Russia even has troops on the western side of Ukraine in Moldova. That's not even on the Russian border. What's their excuse? It's not invasion. We are just here to enjoy scenic Moldova. They have world's largest turnip. Very large turnip make a very big soup. Turnip fans. Everybody loves a good turnip joke. One worrying sign that a Russian invasion may be imminent is that the U.S. has seen indications that Russia has positioned supplies of blood near Ukraine's borders. Nothing good requires supplies of blood. Hey, neighbor, want to join Candace and me for apple picking next Sunday? Great. Oh, bring a couple of pints of blood. No reason. To discourage Russia from invading, a Senate panel said it's close to approving the mother of all sanctions. Oh, and mothers, no sanctions. Dakota, if your grades do not improve, no screen time, no parties, no exporting oil to the European bloc. I don't care if China's getting away with crushing the Uyghurs. No, no. The measures would include sanctions on Russia's largest banks, financial institutions, and sovereign debt, which could cause severe inflation, a stock market crash, and other forms of financial panic that would effectively cut the Russian economy off from much of the global financial system. They're going to destroy the banking system in Russia, essentially plunging the country back into 2008. Then they'll make them down a Four Loko and watch the Indiana Jones with Shia LaBeouf. Do you know who I'm surprised to find out is not that concerned about Ukrainian sovereignty being crushed to dust under the iron heel of Vladimir Putin? Ukrainians. Throughout this crisis, their president, Volodymyr Zelensky, has been strangely relaxed. And according to CNN's Clarissa Ward, his people are following suit.
When you talk to people here, there is no sense of heightened anxiety or alarm. We've been here a couple of days now. People here are anxious a little bit, but largely they seem to believe that there will not be a war.
Yes, they're a little anxious, but they've dealt with it in an interesting way. As tensions have escalated, some Ukrainians have hit the dance floor in clubs to escape a sense of dread for a fleeting moment. Of course, we all know the famous affirmation, dance like no one's invading. So, are we on the brink of a major Russian invasion of its western neighbor, plunging the world into the most dangerous standoff since the Cold War? Or is the U.S. making a mountain out of a molehill that Vladimir Putin has surrounded with 100,000 troops? When we return, we'll ask CNN's Clarissa Ward via satellite from Ukraine. Stick around.